Hunting Big with Steve Bartilla. Brought to you by
over the course of a deer season, a whole ridiculous amount of stuff is changing. I should back up for a second. When I'm talking deer season, I'm talking from the opening of bow season till the close of the last season, that late fall, winter. Whole bunch of stuff is changing in the fall. First, there's the habitat. I mean, jeepers, we're going from having leafy growth all over to just being a desert. A wide open, no cover by comparison desert. Food sources are changing absolutely dramatically. When the food sources change, the deer patterns are going to change with them. If an animal is moving, it's to acquire food, acquire breeding, safety, or comfort. When the cover sources change, the deer pattern usage is going to change with them. Once those leaves drop, all of a sudden these areas along those overgrown fence lines where those Midwestern farm bucks spent all summer long bedding out there. They had plenty of cover from the crops and from the grasses and weeds along the fence line. Now all of a sudden they got nothing. Comparatively, there's nothing there. The safety factor's gone, so they need to relocate. The habitat is changing. The food sources are changing, and at the same time, the whitetail's biology/physiology is changing. Testosterone, along with food, is one of the gases that drives that buck's engine. Over the course of season, the testosterone levels go like this. As those testosterone levels rise and fall, his demeanor changes with it. Well, that's what testosterone does. It drives those whitetails to fight more, inspires breeding, signposting, all that good stuff. You have the rut phases going on, you have the habitat changes. All of this was for a pretty simple yet profound point. There are pitifully few stands out in the woods that are good from opening day all the way to the close. Every stand site has its own sweet spot for season. There are very few tactics. I'm talking rattling, I'm talking calling, decoying, all that type of stuff. There are very few tactics that work every bit as well from opening day to season's close. Opening day of season, let's say you are lucky enough to have a September 1st opener. Go ahead and have a mature buck walk out into the field, out into the food source, meandering through the woods, and go at that thing. You try that in November, odds aren't horrible that he's running to you. You try that on September 1st, odds are pretty good he's going the other way because he doesn't want to get in a fight, and that is what you are doing. You sit there and you give him a doe call. Meh. You know, obviously, use a real doe call. Go ahead and try that doe call on opening day. It probably isn't gonna, now it may work. It could. It may work on the last day of season as well, because a buck is gonna go ahead and take any breeding opportunity that they believe. Here's the problem. They aren't thinking about breeding. They don't, 9 times out of 10 at least, if not more, don't believe that. Okay, then you also have to go ahead and cater your stuff to the pressure. If I'm out on public land hunting, which I do every year, I don't do any calling. I don't do any rattling. I'm not trying to draw attention to me. Instead, I'm trying to disappear into the shadows. I'm trying to find those places that no one else goes and hang out there and make sure that those whitetails never have a clue I'm there, because every other idiot's been out there calling and rattling. Over the course of a deer season, the habitat is changing, the whitetails are changing, a lot of activity changes in the deer woods. Add all that together and man, there are dramatic changes within the whitetail world and its environment over the course of a deer season. If we want to be able to keep ourselves in deer, over the course of deer, we need to change right along with those changes.
Final thoughts, brought to you by Huntworth.
Whitetail biology is changing over the course of season. The food sources are changing dramatically. The cover sources, unbelievable changes, quite frankly. The way the woods is utilized. For the most part, we've stayed out of it all summer long because it's disgusting and gross out there, but now it is an awesome time to be out in the woods, to pick berries, to go look at birds, to go bird hunting, to go rabbit hunting, to go squirrel hunting. All of that type of stuff, it throws the whitetail world into absolute chaos. Whitetail patterns change throughout season. If you want to be in the whitetails from opening day to close, you got to change right along with them.